So my name is Susanne Kohl. I'm a natural scientist, biologist by training. And for over 25 years, I've been now working at the eye hospital in Tübingen, actually by now the Institute for Ophthalmic Research in the Molecular Genetics Lab. So we do genetic work. We are interested in identifying the genes underlying inherited retinal disease, but also optic neuropathies. And already since the early 1990s, we have a database in biobank for inherited retinal eye disease. And I'm the coordinator of this biobank. And today we have DNA samples, roughly about 35,000, for families and patients with inherited retinal eye disease. In the last years, we have focused a lot on functional studies, investigating the effect of mutations, and as I said, the identification of genes is important to us, and the long aim is, of course, to be able to give every patient genetic diagnosis confirming the clinical diagnosis.
So my name is Elfride de Baere. I'm working as a clinical geneticist and a clinician scientist at Ghent University Hospital and at Ghent University. I'm a professor of genetics. I'm directing a molecular genetic testing lab. We test rare genetic diseases, including rare eye diseases. And on top of that, I also have a research team doing research on the genetic background of inherited retinal diseases.
What are the points of your roadmap within your working group that are completed?
Maybe I start. My very first ERN-EYE meeting was the Florence meeting. Actually, at that time point, we identified the genetic diagnostic and research environment in Europe. And it was very, very interesting to see how this has evolved in the last years. And associated with this very first initiative, we published a roadmap for genetic testing in IRDs. And I think this is very important work.
We both co-chair the Transversal Working Group for Genetic Diagnostics, which is very important. We have undertaken several initiatives with this working group. First of all, we started off the REDFAR meetings. And REDFAR meetings are multidisciplinary team meetings. We have 4 meetings a year. And there we discuss with geneticists as well as ophthalmologists, with clinical people and also with research people. We discuss the significance of variants of actionable genes. And the target has been so far RPE65, but we also have been discussing other genes.
What do these actions bring to patients?
I think the most important issue is that we educate people, that we join forces and also our experience, and that this enables the correct genotyping of patients. So defining the molecular diagnosis here by confirming the clinical diagnosis. And by this, of course, these patients become eligible to enter into clinical trials, or if there are also therapeutic interventions.
To give an example, with the working group, with the REDFAR group, we have already made a difference for patients. If we succeed in reclassifying variants from class 3 to class 4 or to class 5 variants, then it can be a difference, can make a difference for patients that are eligible for gene therapy.
What do these actions bring to healthcare professionals?
Well, regarding education, we have organized a webinar on genetic testing, advances in genetic testing and variant interpretation. So this is very interesting and very useful for healthcare professionals because then they learn the most recent advances regarding genetic testing for patients with rare eye diseases.
In addition, within our work group, there have been several videos that have been taken from clinicians for the phenotypic description and recognition of a disease, and the more genetic-oriented people have described the pathophysiological basis and genetic basis of these diseases. And these videos are within the educational framework of the ERN-EYE.
What are the perspectives of your working group?
Well, we also discuss every time we have a working group, we also discuss funding opportunities, because this is also important that we connect researchers, that we connect potential collaborators within ERN-EYE, and this is really beneficial that we can do that via our working group.
I think what might also still be interesting, in the very beginning of the ERN-EYE, we also identified labs that were still able or willing to offer research testing for certain genes and diseases. And this offer is still valid, I think, until today. So we still once in a while receive samples for testing from countries where genetic testing is not freely available.
And we also identify hot topics within the community of ERN-EYE, as well in the clinic, as well as for research.